All right, so we're going to start off with some immigration news because we get these questions all the time, Yo-Yo. Mm-hmm. How do you expedite your case? Let me repeat this again. We get this all the time. How can I expedite my case? My case is stuck at the National Visa Center. My case is stuck with immigration. I haven't gotten an interview. I haven't gotten my work permit. We're documentarily qualified. When am I going to get an interview? And I say to everybody all the time, do a humanitarian expedite and give your saddest story. Isn't that my answer?
Yep.
Well, yesterday, USCIS actually came out with rules on what is a sad reason.
Ah.
Right. They didn't say it in that many words. Okay, but they came out with the criteria that they will agree to expedite a case if you present this criteria. And it came out for the first time. They never really had criteria before.
I know.
It was just, give us your reason and we'll figure it out after we read it, and we'll decide if we're moved or not. Now they have...
And that would be a horrible feeling, not knowing if your case is,
right.
good enough.
So now they have put down criteria.
Nice.
So is everybody ready for this criteria? How many times are we going to get calls today about it anyway, right? We're going to still get calls about it anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm going to answer all those questions right now. All right, so how do you expedite your case? You have to show one of four criteria. One is financial loss. Financial loss to your employer. And actually, USCIS gives an example. For example, if you are a medical doctor or medical personnel and you can't renew your work permit and you now cannot show up to work, that could be a financial loss to your employer because they're counting on the doctor to show up to work. They're counting on the registered nurse to show up to work, that they can't refill that position that quickly. That could be a reason to expedite it, financial loss. Another reason, so it's not so much that you're going to be fired from your job, it's also how is the job going to be affected by you not coming to work. So when you're going to do your work permit and you're saying they're going to fire me, I don't have work permission, it's you get and I used to say get a letter saying you're going to lose your job. It's I'm going to lose my job plus this is the financial loss. This is what's going to happen to the company when I can't show up to work. Okay. Then if you present it properly, then they will expedite the case. What are you laughing at?
The fact that you losing your job and you not having the money, isn't enough. Like
it's not enough.
It's more so the company that's going to lose the money.
Right.
That's what they care about. But
that's right.
At least you guys know.
Right. It comes down to, I'm going to read the rule. Okay. Severe financial loss is where the losses to the company is going to lose critical public benefits or services that you're providing. Doctor, nurse.
So I guess then
bus driver, it could be anything.
People. Yeah.
I mean, you could be a bus driver and use that as well.
Yeah.
You could be an important part of a restaurant. I mean, it just has to be presented properly. There's an expedited treatment based on humanitarian reasons. I always say, give it your sad reason. Okay. So now they have told you now in this new rule what is the sad reasons that they will consider. Illness. You're sick. You need your relative to take care of you. A disability. Again, you're disabled. You need someone to come and take care of you, or your relative is disabled and they have nobody to take care of the person who's getting the green card. Or there's some sort of extreme living condition where either you or your relative are living in. Some severe economic condition or severe living condition, whether maybe it's a dangerous country, a dangerous area, they don't have a home, they got kicked out, something severe that is beyond the normal living conditions.
Yeah.
And if you could present that, they would expedite the case. A death in the family, that's another humanitarian reason to expedite a case. A critical need to travel for medical treatment that you can't get in the country where you're living. That would be another reason. An emergency may include an urgent need to expedite employment authorization as well, for example, as we used before, healthcare workers. If a nonprofit organization seeking to expedite a benefit request must demonstrate an urgent need for the beneficiary's specific role within the nonprofit, again, same thing as for a for-profit. What is going to happen to this company or nonprofit company if you don't show up to work?
That is.
And lastly, if a U.S. government agency gets involved, they can request it on your behalf as well. So those are the sad reasons. I always say, come up with your saddest reason. I have now listed what the sad reasons that they would consider to expedite your case. If you can put together something like that, file for the expedite.
Yeah.
So those are the new rules as of yesterday, Yo-Yo.
Well, at least, I will say that I'm happy that they did give, criteria
Guidance.
and they gave
Little
a little guidance, even though I don't agree. And some people in the comments feel the same way. March Hicks said this is BS. Why not how you are going to be affected? And Elizabeth Francis also said it's about the company and not you, the individual. I feel like that's horrible because companies could always rehire people. They have grants, they have loans, they can manage. But an individual who's losing their job, I feel, is a little bit more severe to me. But at least you guys got guidance now.
But I want you to know something. I agree with them. I'm not saying what immigration came up with is the right thing. I'm just reporting it as it is. Mm-hmm. All right. First of all, we shouldn't have a situation where work permits take 7, 8, 9 months.
That part.
That's a whole other situation. Meanwhile, or people are documentarily qualified waiting for an interview for 18, 24 months. I mean, shouldn't
it's
be.
Like a lose-lose.
Meanwhile, remember a few months ago we said that El Salvador is going to be the first country that is making Bitcoin their currency.
Yeah, did they do it?
They did it.
Wow.
And you know what happened with Bitcoin since they've done it?
What went up?
It went down by more than 50%.
Went down?
Went down by more than 50% from its peak.
It's like, what?
From its peak in November.
What?
Yeah, the cryptocurrency market as a whole has lost more than $1 trillion in the last 90 days. Bitcoin was worth in November about $68,000. Today, it's worth approximately $36,000. And the problem with Bitcoin is its speculation. It's the value of Bitcoin. Its value is because someone says this is what it's valued, because someone's willing to pay X amount of dollars for this, because this is the value of a Bitcoin. But there's nothing underlying why Bitcoin would be 30,000 or 40 or 50. It's just supply and demand, because somebody says it's worth that. Versus, if you buy a stock, for example, okay, you can value a stock because the company sells a product and the company, you know how much the company is going to make. So you know what the value of that stock is. So Bitcoin is just speculation. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? And El Salvador pegged their entire economy
that was so weird to me.
To speculation. Remember we talked about it and we're like, how are people going to have access to computers? How are they going to get the Bitcoin?
Wi-Fi out there is like, finicky, just like how it is, in other countries. And the fact that they spent, $85 million on that, come on. Yeah,
they spent $85.5 million on Bitcoin since adopting the cryptocurrency as legal tender in September. The country has paid an average of $47,500 for Bitcoin. It's now about $36,000.
I couldn't even imagine the older people, young people, at least we can get real savvy with technology super fast.
So the International Monetary Fund urged El Salvador to end their experiment with
So what's that mean?
Bitcoin.
They wasted the money?
They wasted all their money.
Come on.
They wasted all their money. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. What El Salvador is going to do. And quite frankly, Bitcoin is so volatile. In 3-4 months from now, it could be back 68,000. Who knows? Nobody knows. I know, for example, Goldman Sachs says at some point, Bitcoin is going to overtake gold as the choice of people who are trying to, gold is going to go down in value as Bitcoin goes up, because people who would generally buy gold are now going to buy Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is going to end up being the gold of the 21st century, at least according to Goldman Sachs, which is a very famous, investment bank. And they claim Bitcoin's going to go up to $100,000.
Did they also claim that this would happen, that it would go down like this?
Mm-hmm. And you want to know why? It's because interest rates are starting to peak back up.
Right.
So, the easy money of borrowing, very easy money, is going to go down. As interest rates go up, Bitcoin will go down. But who knows what will happen? I have no idea.
We don't know.
There's a lot more to it than what I just explained.
The only person who does is...
That's right. but now the president has, from El Salvador, he shot back on Twitter. He said, most people go in when the price is up, but the safest and most profitable moment is to buy when the price is down. It's not rocket science. So El Salvador is doubling down. They're doubling down on Bitcoin. Their entire country.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me when we spoke about it.
But it's just because it's too volatile.
Yeah.
It's too volatile, especially for such a poor country.
It does not make any sense.
Yeah. And Dawn Harry's like, what happens to people who've already invested? They lose their money.
That's what I'm saying.
It's called investment.
Crazy.
Yeah. That doesn't mean it won't go back up again. It's extraordinarily volatile.
Yeah.
Extraordinarily volatile. Can you imagine, like, if the United States Social Security Fund was invested in Bitcoin, and then one day President Biden says, "Oh, we invested all your Social Security money in Bitcoin and went down. Sorry,
you lose your money.
You lose your money, or your pension. How many people pay into the pensions, right?
Yeah.
So pensions, they buy bonds, they buy stocks because you can value what that's going to be.
My thing is, they didn't have they couldn't vote on this, huh? They definitely didn't have any type of voting process to change their currency to Bitcoin, right?
I don't know enough about El Salvador.
If they didn't, then that's super foul.
And Justice Stephen Breyer, he's set to retire from the Supreme Court. He's one of the 3 liberal judges. He got pressured. He's 83 years old. He got pressured to retire now while the Democrats control the president and both houses of Congress. They want to nominate a younger liberal judge who will be on the Supreme Court for decades. They don't want to see what happened with Ruth Bader Ginsburg when she stayed till she was 87, refused to retire, and then passed away in the last year of the Obama administration. Mm-hmm. And because the Republicans controlled the Senate, they refused to put anybody up for a vote for the Supreme Court. Remember, it was 4-4 at one point, and they waited for Trump to become president, and that's when Trump started his rollout of 3 conservative judges, which is why we're getting decisions that we're getting now.
Right.
So they didn't want to have a situation where Breyer stays on at the Supreme Court as an 83-year-old man, passes away when the Democrats are not in control, and now all of a sudden there's another conservative judge who gets nominated for the Supreme Court of the United States. So right now the Democrats have a window of about 7-8 months to nominate somebody. It is going to be, based on what Joe Biden is saying, a black woman.
Hey.
Yes. He said when Joe Biden was losing the Democratic primaries and he was going to South Carolina, and he said, if I don't win South Carolina, I may not win this. Mm-hmm. And he came out in South Carolina and he said, if he is elected president, his first Supreme Court opening, he is going to nominate a black American woman to be Supreme Court judge. And that, many people believe, propelled him to victory in South Carolina in the Democratic primary, because a majority of the Democratic primary voters in South Carolina are black.
Yeah.
So that propelled him all the way to the presidency, that promise.
You better keep that word.
If he doesn't keep that word,
better keep that word.
If he doesn't keep that word, I don't want to say they're going to burn down the White House, but but they're going to burn down the White. Someone's going to,
Listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it won't
be pretty.
The short list, at least according to the news, we don't know what the short list is, but according to the news, at least, the short list is Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, 51. She was confirmed last year to the powerful Washington, D.C.-based appellate court. She once served as a law clerk for Justice Breyer. He's the justice who's retiring, and also worked as an assistant federal public defender. Another possibility would be Justice Leandra Kruger, 45. If you hear all the ages, all young women.
Yeah.
Because they want liberal judges to stay there for decades.
For at least 3 decades.
At least 3 decades.
Yeah.
She serves as the California Supreme Court and a veteran of the U.S. Solicitor General's office.
I like it.
J. Michelle Childs, a judge on South Carolina's federal court, was just nominated by Biden to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia. Other names that have been floated are District Judge Wilhelmina Mimi Wright, a judge on Minnesota's Federal District Court. Other names that have been floated also are Judge Eunice Lee, a former New York public defender whom Biden nominated to the Second Circuit, Justice Judge Candace Jackson Akawumi, an alumni of Chicago Public Defender's Office, and Sherilyn Eiffel, a civil rights attorney who recently announced plans to step down from her role as president director of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. All relatively young,
Yes.
smart,
Yes.
well-educated,
Yes.
black jurists, women.
Black girl power.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I
So
love it.
we'll see who gets it, but I hope it's somebody with a very strong liberal
Yeah.
bent. I assume they're going to have that.
Yeah.
And COVID, they're giving out free masks now. Jonathan. Where? Right now, the U.S. government has made a contract with Myers and Hy-Vee stores. I know Myers stores. Hy-Vee, Hy-Vee. I don't know who that is.
Me either.
And also expected at Walgreens on Friday. It is coming from the U.S. government stockpile. You can go to any one of these 3 stores and obtain a supply of N95 masks.
Ooh.
For free.
I need those.
For free.
I need some N95s.
And yesterday, vaccine makers Pfizer and BioNTech, that does the Pfizer shot, announced plans to test an Omicron-specific vaccine in people. You know, the issue with vaccines, I don't know what's going to happen, is, based on, at least Moderna just came out recently and said that their vaccine efficacy, meaning that how well it works, starts to wane after 6 months. Mm-hmm. Are we going to have to keep taking shots every 6 months or 9 months or 12 months? Hopefully that's not going to be the case.
That would be a lot.
And they just came out, interestingly enough, with one of the first new polls on attitudes about COVID. And I read the polls and I thought it was very interesting. And they haven't really done these polls about people's attitudes in the United States of America about how they feel about COVID. And the morning, a poll by the Morning Consult of 4,411 Americans in January of 2022, old and young people living in the United States of America, this is what they found out. If they asked the question, how worried are you about getting sick from COVID within the next year? Believe it or not, the people who were the most concerned were ages 18 to 34.
Wow.
And the people least concerned are generally the people who are scientifically supposed to be the most concerned are people plus 65. Odd, isn't that?
Very odd.
The plausible explanation for the discrepancy seems to be political ideology. Younger people seem to be Democrats. Older people seem to be Republicans. And Republicans are less likely to be concerned about COVID than Democrats.
Okay.
Now, across most demographic groups, Americans have broadly similar attitudes towards COVID. It's just not true of young and old, but also of men and women. It's just completely not true across everything. Democrats were asked, as we deal with Omicron, I am going to make changes to my normal activity or continue my normal activity. Democrats said they were going to, 65% of Democrats said they were going to make changes to their normal activity. Only 30% of Republicans said that. Now, the COVID vaccines are remarkably effective at preventing serious illness. If you're vaccinated, your chance of getting severely sick are extremely low. We've talked about that a lot. Even among people 65 and older, the combination of vaccines' effectiveness and the Omicron variant's relative mildness means that COVID, at least in this time period of Omicron, now appears to present less danger than getting seasonal flu. Wow. So if you are vaccinated and boosted, you have less chance of getting hospitalized from COVID than you do from the seasonal flu. Mm-hmm. For the unvaccinated, however, because we've said this time and time again, this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. COVID is worse than any other virus that is out there, common virus that's out there right now. It has killed more than 865,000 Americans, and it is the number one cause of death in the United States, above cancer and heart disease, for the unvaccinated. But if you look at Americans' level of worry of getting sick by vaccination status, a majority of the boosted say they are worried about getting sick, yet a majority of the unvaccinated say they are not worried about getting sick. What does that have to say? That if you're not vaccinated, you're likely to get sick, and they're not worried about it. And if you are, but the misinformation goes both ways. Because if you're vaccinated and boosted, the statistics, at least at this point with Omicron, suggest you have a less chance of being hospitalized than getting the flu.
Yeah.
You could get sick. We talked about that a lot. No one says you're not going to be prevented from getting sick, but it is unlikely you're going to die or get severely ill if you have the vaccine and the booster. Yet people with the vaccine and booster are most scared of getting sick.
Right.
Weird.
That's very weird.
Right? All right, let's do hump day.
All right.
You ready? We have some camels?
Let them out.
It's hump day. It's hump day. It's hump day.
All right, so our first story is about the Dallas Cowboys, Jonathan.
Okay.
The football team.
Uh-huh.
They lost, unfortunately. Lost 23-17 to the 49ers 2 Sundays ago. They're eliminated from the NFL playoffs. Many of their fans were very, very sad. One fan in particular, they were showing on social media, and you see him holding a woman. Looks like he's going to break down in tears. He's all upset.
Yep.
He's very upset. This Cowboys lost, and this is going around social media. The fans are despondent.
Right.
The problem is that wasn't his girlfriend.
That's a huge problem.
That was his side chick, at least according to his girlfriend. His girlfriend, Miss Karina, says, "Hi everyone. Yes, this is my trash ex, who is a serial cheater, and that's his side chick.
Golly.
We are no longer together. We haven't been for a while, but he continues to lie every day, just like he lied about his trip when he swore he was going up with his guys. He also told me he had cut this girl off, but clearly that was another lie. I normally wouldn't post my business, but literally my phone is blowing up off the hook, and while I appreciate you guys sending me this picture, I don't need to see it anymore."
Yeah. Good luck on that, because this is literally everywhere online.
Now, a couple of tweets. One tweet said, "LMAO, this dude took 2 losses in one day."
Right.
2 L's in one day. Another tweet said, "We haven't been in a while means my man has moved on and everyone saw him on with a different girl and I have to make it look like I don't care." And one other tweet says, "If he brings that girl to an NFL playoff game in primo seats, maybe Miss Karina was the side chick."
Ooh.
Right?
Dang.
Right? Maybe she was the side chick. Regardless of what went down, there's one thing we know is true. The sad Cowboys fan, maybe cheating guy photo is set to meme for years and years to come.
Yeah, that's.
He is a permanent
I know
meme.
he probably was like, "Damn, what? They got me on TV?" Because you don't expect that.
Permanent meme.
You don't expect
right.
that. If you going, on a date with your side chick, you don't expect to be blasted on national TV.
Well, yeah, but also, you know what? They went into a stadium with 100,000 people. I mean, you got to be a little suspicious that, all right, if you're with the side chick, maybe I'll bump into somebody here. I mean, there's 100,000 people. Maybe somebody would see me.
But when you're a serial cheater, you just don't care.
You don't care.
Nah, we'll be good.
Right.
They like to play. That kind of gives them, I guess, like some kind of adrenaline.
I don't know why you would go to a public place.
That's when you know you a dog. When you don't care.
You're a dog, right?
Yeah.
You're a dog.
Yeah. With a haircut like that.
That basically sums it up. Yes. Right. I wonder if he and this woman are still together. The side chick? Has he come out? We don't know if he's come out and said anything. Has he made an announcement? Has the side chick made an announcement?
I would have not said anything.
You would not have said anything. Well, that picture's not going away because I've seen that picture 100 times.
Same here.
Right? I've seen that 100 times already. I didn't know that was his side chick. Yeah, I just found that. I found out the backstory now, but I've seen that picture.
Trifling.
Meanwhile, of course, in the UK, there's a woman by the name of Abby Bella. She claims that she has now fallen in love with an alien after it swept her into an unidentified flying object and also swept her right off her feet. Bored by the pandemic and unimpressed by the offerings on Earth, there was no man on Earth that could satisfy Abby Bella. She said that she joked online about wanting an alien to abduct me. And before long, she began to have dreams of a white light. And then last year, on May 31st, Bella says she heard a voice in her dream. It commanded her to, quote, wait in the usual spot. Bella had never heard that voice before, and yet she says she knew exactly what it meant. Bella said, the next evening, I sat next to my open window and waited. And as Bella began to fall asleep around midnight, a flying saucer swept into view. Before Bella knew it, she wasn't in her bedroom any longer. There was a bright green beam which transported her to a UFO. Now, most might be alarmed by such a turn of events, but not Bella, Abby Bella. She was excited, she explained on her YouTube channel. I'm one of these people who all my life have had these weird encounters. We have a video of this.
I don't call him like my boyfriend because that's like inadequate. A lover is also inadequate, but for now we can just, because it's all about love, it's not about like anything else. And it's like such a different level, so much higher than us that I can't even describe it. But so what happened on the spaceship is I saw that being, and it was beautiful to behold. And I can't tell you exactly what they look like. I'm not allowed to say, and also they do change shape.
Now, Bella had a sketch artist, I guess like a police sketch artist, draw this out for her.
I thought she said she
drew it herself. Somebody drew this out for her.
Oh, she's gonna get in trouble.
Okay, so she describes. She describes her alien boyfriend as having big eyes with irises, kind of like a snake-like gaze. But she says she's love-struck. She was not frightened. She's in love. There was one who connected with me, she said. I didn't get his name, but I felt the love. She felt the love. Now, I don't know if Bella... I don't know. I'm taking guesses, Jonathan. Do you believe it is more plausible, okay, that Bella was swept off her feet or swept off of a table after a drinking drunk bitch?
I think the latter.
You think the latter. I mean...
John Harriet says she probably was just dreaming.
Yeah.
Which could be a dream.
It could have been a dream.
There are dreams where it feels real. Yeah.
Right. Now, she said she was only on the UFO for 20 minutes, which is basically what a dream lasts with anyway. And back on Earth, she's bemoaning the gaping difference between the aliens and the Earthmen. Aliens offer that extra quality of care that the men on Earth just are not providing her.
Jessica Leamy says she's so desperate for a Valentine's Day.
Now, Bella has noted that she might be squeamish about Earth relationships, but some people just may not be ready to date an alien. But she says, interspecies dating, it's the way to go.
And you know what's crazy?
What?
There are human beings who would still want to date her. That is alarming.
But she doesn't want to date them. She wants to date Snake Man in the UFO.
I'm saying that's fine because that's her, prerogative. But like, there are creeps out there that like this kind of weird stuff. It's like, ooh, she likes aliens. I want to date her now. I would never.
Now, what's interesting is that when we were all home during the pandemic, apparently we were visited more often by aliens and UFOs than ever before. I don't know why the aliens and the UFOs decided to come in the middle of the pandemic.
Let me tell you, I was in the house for 4 months straight without even going out to get groceries. An alien came and got me too. All right?
But alien sightings surged during the pandemic.
Well, when you're going crazy at home by yourself, aliens come to play with you.
The UFO Center, the National UFO Center, reported that sightings jumped from 1,000 in 2020 to 7,200 alien encounters during quarantine pandemic.
And that shows how many people went crazy during the pandemic.
Exactly. Now, driving from a spaceship to race cars, there's a race car driver by the name of Renee Gracie. She hung up her race car helmet and she cashed in with OnlyFans as a porn star. And she told TMZ Sports that her career as a race car driver was so toxic that it forced her to go to porn. That's how toxic race car driving was. The 26-year-old Australian spoke about her time as a race car driver and why she transitioned to porn. She revealed that she had to go through a process to become comfortable in her new career as a porn performer. She says, I left for many reasons. It was a toxic environment, difficult for a female, obviously. I got treated differently than everybody else. It was just an extremely taxing environment and an industry that is unfortunate for my mental health. Now, her story is amazing because she used to be a driver for Polyamorous motorsport racing team, where she raced for several years. In 2017, she jumped to another team, Dragon Motorsport. Renee eventually left the sport, but admits she was down on her luck for a while before she turned to OnlyFans. So many people turning to OnlyFans and making a fortune.
So let me tell you, I have a friend who was a basketball player up in Canada, so it wasn't like the NBA.
You mentioned him before.
And he does not regret leaving the league to become an OnlyFans porn star because he is a millionaire now, and he wasn't making nowhere close to what he's making. Nothing close to what he's making just being naked and doing some crazy stuff. Now, she
said making the money was a slow progression. She never had the intention of going out to make a lot of money, but now she's raking it in.
Yeah.
And despite sometimes pining for the speed and competition of racing, the adult film star says she's absolutely confident she made the right career decision. The stunner. She a stunner? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a stunner. Revealed that she had around 20,000 subscribers who pay her $5 each.
Jeez.
Meaning that she's making $120,000 a month from subscriptions.
And that's just now. It's going to go up.
It's going to go up.
It's definitely going to. Well, look, we're talking about her.
Now, Renee said in August last year she made almost $10 million in total since starting her career in 2019. She's purchased 3 houses. All right, that's it for now. You'll check us out next week on OnlyFans.
You playing, but I am thinking about it.
I want you to know something. Everybody on the Brad Squad would give you $5 every week for OnlyFans. That's thousands of people right there.
That is.
That's thousands
but can
of people.
I still be on the show?
No, you cannot be on our show if you're doing porn on OnlyFans. This is a family show. Except for about 15 minutes. Except for about 15 minutes during Hump Day.
Right.
All right.
So
But
I would only be invited on Wednesdays.
Yes.
There you go.
All right. And I don't know what this is about. Let's see. Until she experienced a 2017 sex party at the now closed Chelsea, New York sex club, Decadence. Dana Humphrey had 4 previous lovers in her life and was a self-described serial monogamist. Now she writes in a book called My Awakening that she has now in her new memoir, My All Beings Be Fed, Playing with Consciousness by Dana Humphrey. That's the name of the book.
Yes,
The
that's
30-year,
that's it right there.
There it is. The 38-year-old chronicles her sudden transition from a woman who needed to be told what a three-way kiss was into a spiritual and sensual being who indulged in wild simultaneous sex with people of both genders. She told the New York Post she authored the book to be solid in my truth and help remove the stigma of polygamy, the practice of engaging in multiple relationships with the consent of everyone taking part. I think she would have been better off on OnlyFans than writing a book.
Well, I mean, now, no.
But maybe
yeah.
this book goes, top seller. I don't know.
But I don't think she's doing it for the money. I think that now she feels,
She feels
like
liberated.
She feels liberated. She, 38 years old, and you were serial monogamous. Now you are a polyamorous type of person.
What does that mean? That means you just be with anybody.
Poly. Like you can have
anybody.
more than one, boyfriends. So I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
Okay. All right. That's our hump day for the day.
Yep.
Alien abductions, yo-yo. Sex and spaceships.
Out of this.
Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.